Hope everyone's off to a good week. Just quickly recap this past weekend. Really proud of our team, our staff. It was a great weekend, a lot of fun, unique experience, and I really felt like it was kind of, again, what the doctor ordered for us. Got to play a lot of guys, but got to play our first groups a lot as well to really develop good rhythm. And, we want to continue to grow our depth. I think that's something that we've got to continue to do. But it's great to be able to have a week this week where we can get into a little bit of the rhythm of the season and have a true normal Monday, a normal Tuesday, a normal Wednesday, and so forth to really teach these guys how we prepare on a normal game week. So that's really something that I think is important for us this week, especially with so many young players and new guys that are really going through their first season here. And again, just have some normalcy back this week. We got a lot of work to do, all areas, every position, every player, every coach. We got a lot of work to do if we're going to improve and give ourselves a chance to be a special team. Everybody has to take ownership of what we did in this last game. That's all we got. And now let's go from there and grow from there and improve. I know and our team knows that, we'll get everybody's best. So it really doesn't matter who we play. We just got to prepare and play to our standard. That's really what we talk about all the time, and really trying to have a best of one mindset each and every week, best of one, and it either gets the best of you, you get the best of it, and really nothing else matters. What's coming next, what's behind you, really just having that mentality every single day. And these guys have embraced that. They really have. So I'm proud of them, and hopefully we'll see us take another step forward as a team this week. Super excited about being at home. It's always special. We only get 6 home games this year, obviously with the change of the schedule. But, hey, let me tell you something. We're just happy to have the opportunity to be at home, and we want to enjoy every single opportunity that we get, and I know have a great appreciation, for all that's gone into making it happen here. Our game day operations folks, the logistics people, event management staff, everybody, Dan and everybody over in our athletic department, they've done an unbelievable job in creating a great atmosphere with the constraints that are in place. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And, again, very appreciative of that. Got a different challenge this week, with the Citadel. Very different challenge. They're an option football team and take a lot of pride in what they do. They can embarrass you quickly if you don't play with the type of discipline that it takes every single play for 4 quarters. Because they keep attacking, they're going to do what they do. They're aggressive with their passing game. You got to do a great job staying on your feet. It is option football. Everybody doing their job, being disciplined, doing their job, not growing, bored, doing their job. Backside discipline, backside pursuit. The corners and the safeties, they've got to be incredibly disciplined with their eyes. And then we got to do a good job on that D line, keeping them off our backers and being disruptive, staying on our feet. So there's just a lot. It's just a completely different challenge, from the style of play that we're going to see. And then on the other side, they got 9 starters back on the defense, a couple of all-conference players, and they're aggressive. They're an aggressive group. So. I'm excited about it, looking forward to the challenge. And, again, for us, it's about Clemson. It's not about who we play. If we're a so-called top team out there, then we show up every week with a lot to prove. And we certainly got a lot to prove and a lot to improve as we keep moving forward through this season. But we're off to a good start. We had several guys that I thought played really, really well in the opener. But can those guys be consistent performers? All right, can you do it week in and week out? Week in and week out. And then we had some other guys that maybe didn't perform quite as well as they want. Can we improve from that? So a lot of accountability yesterday, and I like how the team responded. But Citadel is a prideful team. They went to Georgia Tech last year and beat them. You know, they beat South Carolina. They went to Tuscaloosa a couple years ago, and it's 10-10 at halftime. All right, so this is a very prideful team, and disciplined, tough guys. So again, we've got to be ready to play, and we will be. And the other thing, the season's going to go fast this year. This is the last game in September for us. So the next time we play, it's going to be October. So just really embracing and enjoying every single opportunity that we get, and truly having that best of one mindset, and just trying to win the day. That's what we're trying to do. So, but proud of our guys, proud of our team and staff for the start that we've had. Now we want to build momentum going into October.
All right, with that, we'll open the line for questions.
Coach, it's Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com here. What were the MRI results for Rook and Tyler Davis?
Yeah, Tyler's was very good. He just got a little sprain on his MCL, and very similar to Lynn J. Hopefully not as bad as Lynn J's. And Lynn J was ready to go last week, and could have certainly played him, but he's flying around, looks great. You'll see him out there this week, and so hopefully a situation like that, and get him back here sooner than later. So it sets up good for him. Obviously he's out this week, but we got an open date coming up. So, we'll hope for Virginia, and we'll see what happens. And Rook's going to he's actually having a scope today. He just had a meniscus, and I don't know on him, once they get in there and they do the scope, if it's just cleaning it up, then he should be, should be fine pretty soon. If it's a repair, once they get in there, then he's probably going to be out, longer. But I don't know right now, what the status of that is.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood with TigerNet.com. For those of us that are not football coaches, just kind of watching that, it was a very clean football game. I mean, it looked clean. And then the players just seem to have all of this, joy on the sidelines. Is that kind of a result? So many other teams are playing games and missing tackles and not looking like they're having fun. Is that just a result of culture that you built there?
Well, I think it's certainly a part of it for sure. I mean, I think that we've all been faced with some challenging times and teams away and everybody isolated and can't train, did not have a normal type of summer and those type of things. But, that, again, was something that I told our team early on in the very beginning of all this stuff is, hey, listen, I think we already had a little bit of an edge, and I think this is going to grow that gap simply because I know who you are. I know the people that are a part of this program and the people that are part of our team. And I know the commitment that they have to being their best and their belief in what we do as a program. And that was pretty evident to me once we really got back in July, going full speed ahead and mandatory training and all that. You could see that, the 98.5% of our team was really in a really good spot. And that just is a reflection, again, of their personal commitment to being their best, understanding what it takes to be their best, and believing in what we do here. So I definitely think that's a part of it. These guys love each other. They don't all agree, but they're not disagreeable people. They care about each other. They respect each other. And, it's awesome to see them go play. It was a lot of fun. And there's nobody there, but I'm telling you, once the ball was kicked off, there could have been 100,000 people in the stands. I mean, it was just a group of people loving what they do, loving each other, great respect for each other, and just excited to go play, excited to go coach. And it was a joyful moment, and we played really well. We've worked hard. We had a lot of practice time. I mean, we've been meeting a lot since March, and then we had the opportunity to have some extra prep time. A longer prep period. So I expected us to play clean. And then how we had 3 scrimmages. We practiced the way we normally do in camp. So with the amount of veterans back offensively, I expected us to be clean and crisp, and we were. The first groups were excellent. And then defensively, again, everybody kind of just looks on paper and says, oh, they lost, all these guys, and they got a bunch of new starters on defense, but they're not new players. Baylon Spector's a redshirt junior, and he got the MVP for us defensively. Played awesome. KJ's not a new player. He's a redshirt sophomore. Niles and Jordan have been around. You look at Mike Jones. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's not a new player. He's been in our program. He's been developing. Most of our guys are that way. They develop, they get better as we go. Bockhorst is a redshirt junior. Jordan's a redshirt. McFadden is a redshirt sophomore. Cade Stewart's a fifth-year senior who's a full-time first-year starter. Putnam, played a lot last year. That paid off for him. Xander's got good experience last year. Joseph Charleston, so you see that across the board, and that's a reflection, again, of how we play people, how we develop them. So when guys do move on, we got guys that aren't, hyperventilating because they're, having a first opportunity to go really play. We believe in our guys. We believe in developing our guys. And, I think that creates the type of morale and part of the culture that we enjoy here.
Dabo, this is Larry Williams. Clearly, tempo was a big initiative for you guys on offense during the offseason. What specifically did you see last year, I guess, through y'all's self-scout on what needed improving in that respect? Just
ownership of it, just having the type of sense of urgency that we needed, consistently. At times our tempo was really good, but there's times that we want to slow it down. There's multiple tempos that we're not a one-tempo offense. We've got multiple tempos. But we really wanted to push the tempo the other night. We felt like that it was going to be hard for them to sub, hard for them to match our depth, and we felt like we could, with playing fast, we were going to create some mismatch opportunities, and especially in the run game with what we wanted to do. So it was good. We played really well at 50 snaps at halftime, and ended up with 82. We did not do a great job with our backups as far as sustaining some drives and getting, some of those third downs. But it was an opportunity for those guys to play and now get better from it. But definitely something that we think is important. We've got very knowledgeable players in our first groups there offensively, and Trevor has a great grasp and a great understanding, and we just want to apply pressure. We want to go, and our quarterback has got answers. He's got tools that he needs to execute at the line of scrimmage, post snap, and we trust him.
Hey Dabo, it's Phil Kornblut. What's the status for Kendrick and Goodrich and Foster for this week's game?
DK and Mario are definitely back. Foster is still not available from a protocol standpoint, but getting better, and hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. Also, and again, he's another one of those guys. I think the open date sets up good for him. With his continued improvement.
Coach, it's Trevor again. We know that things are going to look a little bit different in the Valley on Saturday with no band and limited fans. Have you determined whether you're going to be able to continue the tradition of running down the hill?
Oh yeah, we're running down the hill, and the band's going to be on the hill. Last time I heard, unless something's changed, the band will be on the hill. So we'll actually, run through the band. And we did our game prep. We always do our game prep home or away in the stadium on Fridays. And so first time I've been over there last Friday since they got it all set up for game day. And you know what? It looks great. They did a fantastic job of, social distancing the stadium, if you will, and spreading out the fans to where it's going to feel great. It'll be. We ain't had anybody. I mean, we didn't nobody. We ain't seen a soul practice, nothing. So it'll be really cool, just to be able to see some fans in the stands, and I know it's going to be a great experience for a lot of people to get a chance to see the Tigers in person. But it's all spread out. The students are in the south upper deck. There's only one way in and out for them, and then they took the chair back seats and organized them, and you can see where you can get a feel for where the fans are going to be. So I think it's going to be great. It is what it is. We're going to make the best of it, and try to play our best and put on a great performance.
Dabo, it's Pete at AP. You always have talk about getting quality depth early on for the season. You have young guys always, it seems like, who get early playing time. How much more of a premium is that this year, simply because you might not know who's going to be available in the middle of October or November, that you need that superior depth to really compete?
Yeah, well, I think, again, how we've always done things, we're probably as prepared a team or program for a situation, a moment like this as anybody, because we're not really adjusting our philosophy of doing things as far as how we practice, our substitutions and all that type of stuff. We're really just continuing to do what we've always done, but it is even more important this year, for sure, because you don't know. I mean, you're just all holding your breath. You take that test on Friday, and you're just waiting to get the results back, and because it can change just like that. Our students are back on campus, and hopefully our students are going to, do their part to help us have a season, and just respect the guidelines and everything that's going on, and so we can all continue to do what we love to do. But it's always important to develop the depth. And again, we've done it. We've led the nation 2 years in a row, players per game. So, it's not anything new for us. And it's not just for, obviously this year guys are up and down. Guys have to be ready to go play. It could change just like that. So there's really a sense of urgency with it. But for us, it's always been about developing our team, creating competition, morale, belief and trust, guys that deserve to play, getting them the opportunity. Now, again, it may not be 50-50 like it used to, it might, back when we were rotating Shaq Lawson and Vic Beasley, it was 50-50. And sometimes we have situations like that. And we've got a couple of those positions this year where it's really pretty even. But sometimes it's 80-20. And my belief has always been, I don't care, as a coach, that's one thing I'm going to force the issue on is I want to get guys reps and get them, meaningful reps so that they can develop. And then they're engaged at practice. They believe in the meetings and why it's important to be ready. So it's something we've always done, and definitely this year, never been more important.
Dabo, this is Gene in Charleston. What did you make of the three Sun Belt teams winning on Saturday, and situationally with COVID and stuff? Are we just going to have a lot more upsets and unpredictability this season, do you think?
I think that's a possibility, but, I think, listen, those are good teams. Hey, Billy's done an awesome job. I've reached out to him at Louisiana. I mean, they're a good football team. They've been in their championship the last couple of years, so, nothing new to them. They went there and expected to win. So if you've been paying attention as a fan, man, that didn't shock me at all. Arkansas State, they're really good. I mean, they're a really good program, very prideful program. They're going to give anybody they play a hard time. And can't remember who the Coastal, I guess, was the other one. Hey, they beat Kansas last year, so they expected to go win the game. So I think, it's more credit to those programs. I don't think to those programs they consider that an upset. I think those are programs that expected to win. Maybe on paper or aesthetically because of conference affiliations, all that. But, you know, it doesn't have anything to do with that. And so, you know, they were just the better teams, and the better teams won. So I don't know that it was an upset. But you could very well see some true upsets this year with the COVID because, you know, hey, you could have some key guys out here or there, and that's just the way it is, you know. And nobody should complain about that. I mean, that's just we're all dealing with the same thing. And hey, if somebody's out, it's our job as coaches to do the best we can and get the next guys ready to play. And at the end of the day, you know, just thankful that we're getting an opportunity to compete, and these young men are getting a chance to go do something they love to do.
Hey, Dabo, it's Pete Hannity. Just more times than not, I've heard coaches say they don't like to have an early open date. Your thoughts on having it after 2 games this year, good thing or bad thing, just based on the whole strangeness of the season?
Yeah, God's plan's always better than mine, that's for sure, because I wouldn't have planned it that way. You know, I personally do not like an open date, you know, play 2 games an open date. You kind of want to get it, but I love having an open date now because, you know, we got the timing of our students coming back on campus, and then also a couple guys banged up, chance for them to have, you know, hopefully the opportunity to be back when we get going in October. I think that gets us. It comes at a good time for us. So, you know, didn't like it in the beginning, but as I stand here today, I've changed my mind. I like it.
Dabo, you were talking last week about the disruption or the totally different routine of going on the road from Friday to when you got back. Can you give us a clear picture of what that was like, including, I guess, you and the other coaches serving the players food and all that stuff? Maybe just paint a picture of what it was like up there doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I mean, obviously, first of all, you come in on a Friday, you know, we have our routine, but, you know, we've never had to come in on a Friday and have a virus test. So we had to do that. And but we tried to keep our focus Friday the same, you know, as far as then rolling into our meetings and team meetings, segment meetings, and then we go to the stadium and always have a little 30-minute, you know, what we call game prep walkthrough. And then, you know, lunch, get dressed up, we're ready to go. So all that was normal, but we had to wear masks and shields on the bus. So that was, and the plane. So we had to double up on the bus and the plane. So that was a little bit of a challenge. But hey, you know, you just got, that's what we say in the weight room all the time. You got to embrace the suck, you know, and that's just kind of where we are right now. Sometimes you got to do things you don't like to do, but that's where we are, and that's what we had to do, and we got it done. And then we couldn't eat. You know, normally you get on the plane, there's all kind of food and snacks. So no food, no snacks. You know, we've always, you know, a lot of things that are kind of being required is kind of normal to us. I mean, we've always handled our own luggage. You know, all of our staff. You know, players get on the bus when we get to the airport. When we land, they get on the bus, and all of us coaches and staff, we get the luggage off the plane. We load it on the buses. We've never had other people do that for us. It's something we've always taken pride in, so that wasn't that big a deal. But going to the hotel in North Carolina, they got, you know, they're in a different place right now, and so very limited staff. In fact, I think this was like their first big event at the hotel since March. So we pretty much had the whole hotel, and we normally have multiple meeting rooms, but we could only have one meeting room. So we had to have one big space, and then we would just put an air wall up when we needed to go separate offensive and defensively, but that's where we ate. Normally you eat differently, your meetings are differently, but everything was there. So where we ate, where we met, we did a movie there. You know, we had to break the room down, set it back up, so we cleared it all out for the movie, got them all these little, I don't know, some kind of little blow-up beanbag type thing that they could relax in and watch the movie, had a great time with that, and then had to reset it. But then from a food standpoint, we usually, they go through and they serve themselves and get what they want. That's typically how we do it. But the staff, there was no staff there to serve, so we had, and they weren't allowed to serve themselves, so we had to do it. So it was great, I mean, listen, there's, washing people's feet and they're serving mashed potatoes. It's kind of all the same thing. It was great. I mean, I kind of, I was making sure I had the spaghetti. Had spaghetti one time. I had rice another time. So, just make sure they got enough. But I thought it was great. Our whole staff was amazing, and we couldn't have done it without everybody's. And the good thing is you didn't have to ask anybody to do anything. Everybody took the initiative to just go look for work and find something to do. So that was different. That was obviously not our norm, but it's what we had to do. And, so that was every meal or ice cream or drink station or whatever it may be. And then we loaded up on game day and, went and played the game. So we ended up bussing back. So a few differences, but, we made it work.
Hey, Dabo, David Hale with ESPN. I talked to Mac Brown yesterday, and he said after his game on Saturday, I guess Sunday, he kind of did a informal survey of his players and asked them, when did you truly believe we were going to get on the field and play a football game? Like, when were you convinced this was going to happen? And he said the overwhelming majority said it was like a week ago. Like that for most of the practice and getting ready, they just were not quite sure whether or not all of this was going to be for naught. And I'm curious do you think that was a similar sentiment within your own guys? And how difficult was it sort of managing all the ups and downs and will they, won't they throughout this whole kind of summer and getting into the season with guys who I'm sure were eager to get on the field but not sure it was going to happen?
Yeah, it was crazy this summer for sure. I mean, it was every day something different. And for me personally too, because I was on, a bunch of calls and, from one call to the next, it could be a completely different story. So it was tiresome, but, tried to just keep our guys focused on what they controlled, and they did a great job with that. Our guys really prepared. I think they fully expected to play. Once we got into our walkthroughs, I think they fully expected to play. But, on that, there was a Saturday practice, and literally right before I went to practice, I had gotten an email, kind of a heads up about, I guess, or the Big Ten or whoever they were talking about maybe canceling, and so I actually challenged our guys. I just said, hey, if you guys want to play, you're going to have to change the narrative from a player's perspective, because the narrative is, hey, we're making everybody play. And that's just not reality. Everybody here's here as a volunteer. Nobody has to be here. No coach, no player, and our players came out and fought for their season. That was the only time, to me, that our players that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that kind of a few days there, where I felt like, nobody really knew. But once we got into camp, I don't think anybody's had any doubt we were going to play. We just haven't we just didn't focus on. We just focused on what we controlled, and again, that's why I told them from the very beginning, here's what we got. We got today, and we're on the field. We got today, right? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow may never come. Today is the gift, right? That's why they call it the present. So let's win the day. It's a best of one. Let's just get the best of today, and that's been a mentality that our guys have embraced. Hey, they may call us tomorrow and tell us we can't play anymore, but man, we get to play today, and so let's enjoy it. And so that's really kind of been our mindset the whole time. But I think everybody, once we got past that point, and the ACC and the SEC and the Big 12 said, hey, we're playing, I think we all fully expected to play.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor again. We all saw what a special talent Miles Murphy is on Saturday night. I know for most speed rushers, playing a triple option offense isn't the most enjoyable thing in the world. how much are you looking forward to seeing if he can maintain discipline and set the edge and really play assignment football?
Well, I think college football, in general is unique in that, you have so many different styles, 130 teams, and you have so many different styles of play. I mean, you could play a 5-wide team one week. You could play a 12 personnel, bloody your nose team the next week. Then you could be playing a triple option, bone type team. And so I think that's what makes it really, really fun. And it's just a different challenge. So you got to accept the challenge every single week of getting yourself ready to play well, to play within the scheme, to get your job done. So, he's off to a good start. Had one good game. He didn't grade a winner. We didn't have a single N grade winner. He made some good plays, but I think we played 5 ends and not a single one graded what we call a winner. We have a certain metric at every single position, and not one of the 5 got there. Goes, hey, we're going to grade them tough. There's a standard, there's an accountability, there's all kind of things. So, it's like the receivers. I've coached receivers forever, and a guy can go out and have 3 catches and a touchdown. And everybody's talking about how great he played, and that used to drive me crazy. Still does, because, maybe he played 40 snaps, and, yeah, he had 3 good plays. But what did he do them other 37? Did he impact the game? Did he block? Did he have all of his assignments? Was he lined up right? Was it splits right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The next step is let's go grade a winner. We don't want to be just flashy. We want to be consistent, and we want to play to a standard week in and week out. And that's what we do on Mondays. We create a lot of accountability. A lot of people say different things on the outside, but we know what's real on the inside, and we go through that. Hey, every position, this is who graded a winner, and then everybody takes pride in that performance. So that's how we coach them. That's how we get them better, and that's how we grow our team. So I just want to see them, do their job, and hopefully we'll have some guys at that position that'll play winning football, not flashy football, winning football.
We'll take 2 more for Coach.
Hey, Dabo, Josh from the Post-Courier. I believe you guys ran 82 plays on Saturday. How does playing faster help what you want to do on offense?
Well, just, we can put pressure on the defense. When they can't sub, it's hard for them to get lined up. And we feel like that with our quarterback, we have an advantage. So when you put the tempo on people and you can execute it, you feel like they're on their heels and you're on the balls of your feet. That's the mindset we want to create.
Hey, Coach Pete again. If I could, just talking about what you were a couple of points ago about making guys accountable, but based on how Brzee and Murphy came out of the box, I mean, is it kind of a different level now of coaching because of how far advanced they are compared to other guys who, play their first college game?
Yeah, you don't see many guys like Brian and Miles that are so well prepared to transition to the college game. I mean, you'll see a lot of unbelievably talented guys. We've got a couple guys at wideout that are just going to be incredible. But the transition's always different for everybody. It is. I mean, again, our MVP defensively was Balin Spector. Not many people were talking about Balin Spector when we signed him or last year, and he's a guy that's been getting better. But every now and then you get a Brian Brzee, a Miles Murphy, who is physically and mentally ready. Most freshmen coming in, they typically have to develop either mentally and adjust to the schemes, the speed of the game, whatever, or they have to adjust physically. And, they're lacking something. A KJ Henry, a 5-star defensive end coming out of high school, but he was weak as a noodle, and he needed to get in the weight room. He needed to get strong. He needed to get more physical in the run game. He knew ball, but he needed to physically develop. Mentally, he was in a good place. So, that's kind of typical. It's atypical that you have a guy like Brian and Miles that are just kind of advanced, especially in the trenches, and that's why I'm excited about a couple of those young offensive linemen like a Walker Parks and Mitchell Mays. I mean, these are true freshmen, and man, they're making some good strides. Paul Tio,